Part 2, Chapter number 4, Environmental Management. We have studied about environment in the earlier classes. We are aware that our environment consists of abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are nothing but non-living components of an ecosystem. These non-living components directly affect the survival and reproduction of living organisms. Abiotic factors could be classified as sunlight, wind, rain, water, soil, etc. We also know that biotic factors are nothing but living organisms of an ecosystem. Living organisms consist of human beings, plants, animals, birds, fishes, microorganisms, etc. These all, that means biotic and abiotic factors combine together and they form an environment or an ecosystem. We are also aware about the different consumer levels that form a food chain. Here is an example of a food chain where we have producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and apex level consumer. This is just one food chain that has been shown. We are aware about there are various food webs in the surrounding in our environment that every producer has one or more than one primary consumer dependent upon. We also studied about paddy crop production. An example of paddy crop cultivation was given to you in the earlier lecture. We know that a food chain was being formed through this paddy fields. When this paddy fields were grown, we observed that grasshoppers came and they started feeding upon these paddy crops. Looking at the grasshoppers, frogs came and they started feeding upon these grasshoppers. When frog population was increased, the snakes came and they started feeding upon grass. They started feeding upon frog population. Now, we also gave a situation wherein the frog population declined. When the frog population declined, you all answered to me that the snakes would decline because there wouldn't be any frogs to feed upon. Similarly, frogs were feeding upon grasshoppers. So the production or population of grasshoppers would increase, which would again damage the crops. Biotic and abiotic factors and their interaction with each other form an ecosystem. Every factor has important role to play for functioning of the ecosystem. Plants are producers of the ecosystem. Various herbivores like deer, goats, sheep, cattle, horses, camel, etc. feed upon producers. Carnivorous predators, example, lion and tiger, control the population of the herbivorous animals. The decomposers and scavengers, like caterpillars, termites, insects, present in the dung, carry out decomposition and thus clean the environment. Existence of human beings is dependent on the balanced ecosystem. We also studied about relationship between environment and ecosystem. Environment is collective term of physical, chemical, biological factors that surround the living organism. Many abiotic, biotic, natural and artificial factors come together constitute conditions of the environment. Two main types of environment: natural environment and artificial environment. Natural environment include air, atmosphere, water, land, living organisms, etc. Whereas artificial environment includes construction of dams, roads, bridges, airport, things that man has made to make their life simpler and easier. Two main factors of environment, as we studied earlier, are biotic factors and abiotic factors. Continuous interaction occurs between all the factors in the environment. Artificial environment directly or indirectly affects the natural environment. As you know, environment is a broad concept. Physical, chemical, biological factors affecting the living organism in any possible way is collectively called as environment. It includes many biotic, abiotic, natural and artificial factors. The science that deals with the study of interaction between biotic and abiotic factors of the environment is called as ecology. Basic functional unit used to study the ecology is called as ecosystem. Environment consists of many ecosystems. Ecosystem constitute biotic and abiotic factors occupying a definite geographical area and their interaction. We'll go through a flow chart about ecosystem. These things we have already studied earlier. We'll just have a revision. Also, I have given you a homework regarding this particular flow chart. So we'll revise and you'll check whether the flow chart that you have prepared or completed is correct or no. Okay. Ecosystem. Ecosystem is bifurcated into two categories. One, abiotic factors. Second, biotic factors. We'll study about abiotic factors in detail. Abiotic factors, there are two main bifurcations in abiotic factors. First, physical. Physical components include air, water vapor, mineral, soil, sunlight. Whereas chemical factors includes nutrients and salts. Nutrients are nothing but those nutrients that we get from air, soil, water vapor, sunlight. Like from air, we get nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide. These are nothing but nutrients. From soil, we get calcium, potassium, magnesium. What are all these? These are nutrients for plants. Salts that we get from the soil, they are nothing but they are important for the growth and development of plants. So, chemical and physical components are a part of abiotic factors. Chemical components are further divided into two categories. One, organic, other, inorganic. Okay, organic, inorganic, we have proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. In inorganic, we have hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, iron, sodium, etc. Now we are going to study about biotic factors. Biotic factors are nothing but living organisms. Living organisms are classified into two main categories, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic are also called as producers, and in producers we have only one, and that those are plants. So plants are called as autotrophic producers. They produce their own food and rest of the living organisms are dependent on the plants. So they are called as autotrophic living organism or autotrophic biotic components. Next we have is heterotrophic biotic components. Heterotrophic biotic components are classified into two, consumers and decomposers. Consumers are also called as animals and decomposers are nothing, they degrade or they help or they start degrading the dead bodies. That is the reason decomposers are very important or essential part of our living organisms, because these decomposers they rely or they feed upon dead living plants and dead organism, dead plants or dead animals. So those are fungi, bacteria or other microbes. Animals are further classified into three main categories. First, primary, secondary, and the third one is tertiary. Now we are moving on a very important topic, that is environmental conservation. As you all know, it is very important for us to conserve our environment. It has become an essential part as we take food, as we have basic needs like food, clothing, shelter. Similarly, there is one basic need that is the need of an hour today, that is conservation of the environment. You all know in the past years or in last year itself, in newspapers, we have read Kerala floods, Odisha floods, Amazon river basin fire. These all things are nothing but the environment is warning us that you need to take care of me. You need to take care so that your life is easy living. You have no kind of trouble, no kind of problems ahead. That is the reason environment conservation is really important and need of an hour for us to understand that we need to conserve, we need to take care of the environment. Okay, the environment is affected due to natural factors of environment and some man-made factors such as pollution. Such factors create imbalance in the environment which in turn affect the existence. As you all know, today Take an example of we. What do? We eat a chocolate and we throw the wrapper on the road. It's just a simple task. But do we take an initiative of throwing it in the dustbin? No. What do? We eat it and we just throw it. And we are least bothered at what is happening. But that chocolate wrapper, if one person is throwing, imagine 10 of your friends throwing, imagine 100 of your friends throwing, imagine the whole area throwing it. So what is happening? These wastage, they get collected. Now it is not possible for plastics to degrade early. Plastic takes about 1000 years to degrade. So what will happen? This plastic remains where it is, and during rainy season, what is happening? Water does not go down, it does not penetrate through that plastic, so it remains on the surface level itself. That is the reason we have problems of waterlogging, and due to which we have floods around, we have what we say waterlogging problems around. That is the reason we should take an initiative of at least not throwing garbage on the roadside but throwing it into a proper dustbin. The government is also taking an initiative of bifurcating garbages like dry garbages and wet garbages. These techniques are given by the government, but it is we literate people who don't follow it. Illiterate people, of course, they follow it. They reuse things, but literate people, they don't. They find it's not good. It's cheap to reuse things, to make it utilize again. We use a bottle and we just throw it. We can reuse it, but no, that's not our class. We go on thinking, okay, we have to maintain a high class society, but that's not possible. We should take care that no, if a bottle is there, I can reuse it again. I can use it for any other purposes. Might be I can make a pen stand, or might be I can make it a flower pot. Something could be used from that. I am not saying for our daily articles, but at least to decorate we can use such plastic articles. We have also gone across various activities in our school where we have seen that best out of waste is there. We have seen, or we have come across that best out of waste, whatever waste articles you have at home, you have to make best out of it. Why do we do that? Because we have seen, go to our FB page, various children have taken initiative to form a photo frame, to make a flower pot, to make a pen stand. These all things are they are doing. They are learning that out of waste we can do best of the things, right? So our earth is suffering from many environmental problems caused due to the effect of various natural and artificial factors. What are natural factors? Okay, earthquakes, cyclones, fine, those are created naturally by the nature, but who gives initiative for this particular disasters? We don't take care of the environment. That is the reason earthquakes take place, that is the reason cyclones take place, that is the reason volcanic eruptions take place. Why? Because we are degrading the environment. And of course, artificial factors which we man-made has done. We have constructed buildings and we have destroyed our forests. Why are we doing it? So that we get proper shelter. But what are we destroying? We are destroying plants, oxygen that we get. Now all around us we have is an impure air around us. What is this impure air doing? It is just, we are cutting down trees, and due to which oxygen is reducing, and we are facing many problems that we cannot breathe. We have asthma problems, we have lung diseases because oxygen is not reaching in our body. We have also studied in the earlier classes about environmental pollution. We all are aware pollution brings about environmental degradation, right? Pollution is where environment always gets degraded, damaged. Man-made and natural causes. Of course, environment is getting degraded. Pollution has been increasing because of what? Because of man-made and natural causes. Man is causing degradation. Naturally, it's getting degraded. We contaminate water and make unnecessary and unacceptable changes. It's not necessary, but yet we make changes. Dam is not necessary on that particular river, but we still build it. What are we doing? Unnecessary changes we are making in the environment. Direct and indirect change in physical, biological, chemical properties of air, water, and now, what factors are actually affecting the environment? As I told you earlier, we have natural factors as well as man made factors. Natural factors are what? Natural factors are earthquake, floods, drought, cyclones, storms, volcanic eruptions, landslides, etc. And man made factors are what? Deforestation, population explosion, overexploitation of natural resources, industrialization, agriculture, urbanization, mining, etc. Now, we are going to study about what are the reasons that that affect a human being due to pollution. What reasons are there? Reasons for pollution: first is population explosion, second is fast industrialization. We are aware that there are various industries that are growing in our surrounding, that are growing in our area. Indiscriminate use of natural resources. We are just going on using our natural resources, and where we are not even taking care of the future requirement, future buddies, future children, future generation, that how are they going to use natural resources. We should conserve, we should limit to the use of natural resources, but we are not using it. We are using it limitlessly without taking into consideration the how natural resources are going to stay or remain for our future generations. Deforestation, of course, we are cutting down trees so that we can build industries, we can build residential areas, we can build malls, we can build huge shopping centers, we can build stadiums. For what? For our selfless needs. But we are not thinking that if we cut a forest, where are these animals going to go? What about the medicinal plants that grow in the forest? Where are these animals going to take shelter? What is going to happen to the oxygen? The balance of oxygen in the environment will decrease. This things we don't take care of. We are only thinking about our selfish needs. Okay, we want a shelter, we're going to cut down this forest and we're going to build buildings over there. We're going to build a multiplex theater over there. We're going to build a 5-star mall over there or a hotel over there. What are these? These are selfless needs of human beings. And unplanned urbanization, of course. Unplanned urbanization is where we are attracting or we are making a city grow in such a manner that we are neglecting the environment, we are not taking care about the environment. We have also known about radioactive pollution. Radioactive pollution are what? Right? Radioactive is where we are going to play with radioactive elements like plutonium and uranium. What is happening? Natural process such as UV, that is ultraviolet rays, and IR, that is alpha radiations. So these ultraviolet rays, these infrareds are somewhere or the other affecting our environment. Our ozone layer is getting depleted. Depleted because of what? Because of these UV rays. These UV rays are such harmful that it these ozone layer, it filters it and it does not let these harmful rays reach the earth's surface. But now, since oxygen level is decreasing and carbon dioxide is increasing, the ozone layer is getting depleted. Since it is getting depleted, these ultraviolet rays are penetrating through the holes that are being prepared in the ozone layer, and then it damages the skin. It causes skin cancer, skin diseases, skin disorders. Man-made or artificial X-rays and radiation emitted through atomic energy plants. Of course, for growth and development, we have atomic energy plants that are being used. These atomic energy plants, what are they using? They are using atoms. They are playing with the atoms, nucleus of the atom. And when they play or when they use this radioactive elements, what are these radioactive elements doing? They, if there is a leakage, it will cause a huge damage. If you have heard about Bhopal gas tragedy, you will understand that there was a leakage in an industry. A gas got leaked and the entire area was, had breathing problems. The entire area, that leakage happened at night. People started inhaling in their sleep. People started inhaling that gas and it caused death in the sleep itself. People who survived, pregnant women, their babies, there was genetic disorder in their babies, some became paralyzed, some were handicapped, some were born with some skin disorder, some were born with some kind of cancerous diseases. These were the things that happened in Bhopal when there was a gas leakage from an atomic energy plant. Major mishaps on international levels. Major mishaps on international level. We have Chernobyl, wind scale, and 3 miles island mishap. You can go on YouTube. The videos were too long, so I did not copy down the videos. But you can go on YouTube and you can just type Chernobyl mishap of international level. They'll give you a brief idea that what actually happened. You are also aware in history. In history, we had Hiroshima and Nagasaki bomb during World War One or World War Two, but they used uranium atom and they had a bomb spot in those areas. Yet people in those areas are suffering from skin disorders, genetic disorders. There are no vegetables grown over there. The soil has become completely infertile. There are gases that are being coming out from those particular areas, so that area is completely damaged, and after so many years of world war, still that area has been affected. So that hard is when, that tough or that dangerous is when a nuclear attack is being, there is a nuclear leakage or nuclear attack on any particular area. What effects or what are the effects of these radiations when they cause on the environment or when they cause on a human body? Cancerous ulceration due to X-rays. Right? Ulcers are being prepared in the body, like in the lungs, might be on your throat, in the heart, wherever, in your large intestine, in your small intestines. Ulcers that are cancerous. Next you have is destruction of body tissues. Your body tissues get damaged, they stop working, they become dead. Changes in the genes, genetic disorders take place, and then we have genetic disorder diseases like sickle cell anemia, cleft lips, and all those stuff. After reading all this, what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is pollution of air, water, noise, soil, thermal, light pollution, etc. are different types of pollution that cause adverse effect. It ultimately affects the existence of all living organisms on the earth. Thus, it is our responsibility to curtail polluting substances and aim at environmental conservation. So, what should we do? We should basically stop the use of such articles that are harmful for the environment, like and we are still saying that we should not use plastic because plastics are not degradable, so we should go ahead and we should stop the use of plastic. We should use paper bags or cloth bags that also can carry heavy articles, but we should use it. We should take initiative because we are learning. Since we are learning, we should take initiative and we should stop using all these articles. That is our main responsibility. Okay, so class I've completed till in your textbook I have completed up to relationship between environment and ecosystem. There is a flowchart that is coming next, that is need for environmental conservation. I expect you people to go through it and you should um, fill those flowchart. I'll be discussing it in the next lecture. Okay, thank you class. Sit and read what is there in your textbook. We have completed one part of chapter number 4, environmental management. So you sit back home, read what has been taught to you today, and fill the flowchart that is there in your textbook, need for environmental conservation. Thank you.